Resources have been scarce this year. Wolf packs from far and wide have descended on the lush northern forest in search of food. The tensions are high as packs compete for food, territory, and alpha status. In the alpha, the player with the most food at the end of 5 rounds of play is the winner. To set up the game, each player is given a den board, an alpha pair, 6 beta wolves, and 1 conflict token of the same color. The food tracker is placed into the center of the table, and then each player will put one of their beta wolves on the greystone. This is numbered 5 on the food tracker board. This will be used to keep track of the score throughout the game. Then each player places their alpha pair and remaining beta wolves into their individual den board. Place the weeks left token on the yellow 5 weeks left circle on the food tracker board. Then set out region tiles next to the food track based on this chart. We're going to set up for a 3-player game simply because it fits nicely on camera. Now, each round of play consists of 5 different phases: stalk, establish dominance, chase, resolve, and advance. The player who howls the loudest takes the alpha token, and they take their first turn. They're considered the alpha for the first round. During the stalk phase, players will place either 1 beta wolf or an alpha pair from their den board into a region tile. Players will take turns in clockwise order, placing their wolves one at a time onto a region tile until there are no wolves in any den left to place. Scavenge tiles will allow the players to definitively score 1 food during the round. The small animals such as beaver, hare, and fish are placed below the food tracker. This is referred to as the near forest. Animals that live in the near forest offer less food, and no payment is required to hunt here. The far forest is where the medium and large-sized animals live, such as caribou, deer, and bison. These animals allow an opportunity for the greatest amount of food. Players must pay 1 food in order to place a wolf on a tile in the far forest, since it's riskier to hunt here, but this can result in a greater reward. Now, the livestock tile provides the biggest risk of all. Each round, only 1 player is allowed to place a single wolf here, and depending on the outcome of their die, they'll either gain a lot of food or a little bit, or worse yet, one of their wolves could die and be permanently removed from the game. After all of the wolves have been placed in their regions, next up is the established dominance phase. The dominant pack is the pack with the most wolves in each region. Count up the number of wolves on each region tile. The alpha pairs count as 2 wolves, while the beta wolves only count as 1 for the sake of determining dominant packs. If 2 or more packs are tied for the most wolves, they are all considered dominant, for now. After the chase begins, in each region where there are wolves, the dominant pack rolls the die matching the color of that region. Each region has its own die associated with it, and it matches the color of the prey that the wolves are hunting. If there are multiple dominant packs, the player seated closest to the alpha in a clockwise direction rolls the die. Now, there are several potential die outcomes based on the rolls. If the player sees a die with a number on it, that means that the hunt was successful and the number shown on it is the food available to the dominant packs. If the player rolls an X, it means that the prey got away and no food will be gained in this region. However, if there is more than 1 dominant pack in that region, the second dominant pack has the opportunity to re-roll it. If the result of the die ends up being an X anyway, or the player chooses not to re-roll, the result remains an X, and all of the wolves in that region return to their den board with no food. Now, if a player rolls a C with a number next to it, this means that the region's prey was wounded, and it will become carry-on in the next round. All packs with wolves on this space immediately have a conflict for the amount of food shown on the die, and will move on to the resolve phase. After the conflict, flip the region tile over to its carry-on side for the next round. In the next round only, this region will skip the chase phase, and instead will have a guaranteed amount of food available to eat for the dominant pack in that region. Next, we'll move on to the resolve phase. Regions are resolved in order from smallest to largest region. If there are no wolves in a region, move on to the next one. If the hunt was a success, and there's only 1 dominant pack, that player advances their wolf on the food tracker equal to the number shown on the region die that was rolled. If there are multiple dominant packs in a region, those packs enter into a conflict. The packs will use their conflict token to choose to fight for food, or they might choose to share it. They all reveal their chosen tokens simultaneously. If all packs choose to share, then the food is distributed one at a time, starting with the alpha going clockwise. If only one pack chooses to fight, then that pack receives all of the available food. If 2 or more packs choose to fight, then one wolf from each pack is wounded and placed into the injured wolf space on the game board. These packs also receive no food for being selfish. Now, if there are also dominant packs in that region who chose to share, then the share packs will receive food one at a time, starting with the alpha going clockwise. If all dominant packs fight and there are any non-dominant packs left in the region, they are now considered a scavenger pack, and food will be distributed to them one at a time, starting with the player closest to the alpha going clockwise. Then the wolves advance. The time advances and all wolves remaining on the region tiles go back to their respective dens. All wolves in the healing wolf spaces then return to their dens, and all wolves in the injured spaces move to the healing wolf space. Pass the alpha token to the player with the most food, and then start the next round. At the end of 5 weeks, the player with the most food is the winner of the game. And that's how you play the alpha.